Good evening, good evening. I am Juanqui and welcome to my world. If this is your first time stopping by, hello, hi, welcome. I am a cornucopia of stuff. Hello, my Naris21. I see you in the chat. Today we are here with another one of our seeking advice. This is a man asking the man in the man's corner for some advice. And his post is titled, "You don't play where you get paid, right?" So as the title says, I generally believe this is a good mantra to live by. Work and personal life should be separate. I saw plenty of people when I was in the military who couldn't separate the two, myself included. If you can't balance the two out, things always. He got typos in here. In the military, he certainly wasn't taking grammar and punctuation. Let me take that sentence again. I saw plenty of people when I was in the military who couldn't separate the two, myself included. If you can't balance the two out, things always seem to go bad, or at least uncomfortable. Anyways, here's where I'm going with this. I finally found a job that I kind of like. The people are mostly normal and I can have decent conversations. However, there is a woman that I work with that I'm a little confused about. We get along great at work. We joke, laugh, give life advice. I've helped her move things from old apartment to new, and we've hung out outside of work once before. Thing is, I feel like I'm getting mixed messages. She has stated on multiple occasions that she does not date people she works with. In my opinion, that's great. I agree. I've seen those relationships go completely off the rails. However, I have a motorcycle that I ride into work occasionally. She hasn't said it directly, but I'm pretty sure she wants me to take her on a ride. I'm starting to look into buying a house. She volunteered to go along and play like she's my girlfriend or wife. Child, they want to cosplay as being married, okay? Lately, she said we should go rollerblading together. What are they? What are they in college rollerblading? Guys, am I going nuts here, or is this one of those, quote, I'm gonna say one thing when I actually really want to do the completely opposite? Okay, somebody says in the comments, says, a few possibilities here. One, she's only saying she doesn't date coworkers as a cover and will abandon that when she finds the right guy. Two, she's keeping the door open with you in case she leaves or you do, you two can be an item. Three, she has a solid friendship with you and wants to keep it, even as signals get mixed. My guess would be one of the first two options, but I've seen number three in action before, so I'll throw it out there. You gave him no damn advice. Gosh. Somebody says, sure. She sure sounds interested based on your description. Try asking her directly. Okay, and somebody says, I said I'd never date a coworker. Then I ended up getting a job with the same agency my boyfriend works for. different offices, but we ended up working on some projects together, different disciplines in the sciences, though. So he was never a boss or a subordinate. Nobody knew we were an item at the time. It was so sexy seeing him nerd out during his work when we had to do field trips to projects. I transfer out of a different role so that can no longer happen. So that can no longer happen. But those memories live forever in my mind. Anyway, comma, all that to say, sometimes people say one thing, do another. Be cautious though, because success stories are probably fewer than nightmares. Does sound interesting though. I've never volunteered to play a girlfriend for someone I was not interested in. All right, let me give him my advice. Here's my advice. Don't crap where you eat. All right? Take it easy. Just go with the flow. But don't aim to date your coworker. It just never ever works out. They start getting possessive and aggressive. And God forbid you are, dealing with a project or a situation with another cute girl in the office. They are going to be jealous. They are going to be watching you. And if this doesn't go right, and you end up not being, together, but, you're going to stay professional for the sake of the paycheck, that never works. She will always hold a grudge. She will throw you under the bus as soon as she can behind closed doors. So my suggestion to you, sir, Mr. Man, is do not, I repeat, do not go for the girl at the office if you're going to be working at said office. Now, if you're an independent contractor and your project has a beginning, a middle, and an end, towards the middle, you can start flirting, and towards the end, on your last day, you can officially ask her out on a date. We do these every night. Every night we do these. I come through and I read people wanting suggestions, wanting advice, asking questions. And one thing that is really consistent, I've noticed in the last few months that we've been doing these here in New York City, there are some lonely people out there. People that are lonely, people whose standards are on the floor, girls that are willing to give the men princess treatment. Women who are really want to throw their phone numbers, they don't want to let the man be the man and let them ask for your number. They want to ask for his number. I feel sometimes like I'm in a twilight zone when I read some of these people asking questions. But then again, they are going to the internet, to people like me, strangers, so that we can read their story, and without even knowing them, without knowing the situation, the setups, their histories, or anything like that, to give them advice that they're attempting to take. Let me tell you something. This has been really entertaining. We've done this for months now, and and we will continue to do this every night. I will be coming out doing one of these posts and giving advice and dissecting. But for the life of me, what I cannot understand is I will never go to the internet and ask complete strangers for their advice when it comes down to something in terms of my life and my journey. Not to be ungrateful, because these people have provided us with enough content and discussion, but I don't get it. Shouldn't you go ask a best friend, a girlfriend? No, I'm in terms of like a girl and a girlfriend, a mentor, a family member, a elder that maybe has been longer, been on earth longer than you and has had a different experience, a different walk of life. Your homeboy, a homegirl. You know what I'm saying? It never ceases to amaze me, the amount of people that are out in these internet streets asking for advice from strangers for important matters of their life. But anyway, we will continue to bring them out and read the stories and give our feedback. You know what I'm saying? And uh, in conclusion, no, you should not play where you get paid. I don't want to. I don't know what kind of alternative universe people live in where they want to f around and find out with the source of income that allows them to breathe and eat and shower and have a place to rest their head once in a while, get a meal outside, and perhaps even going on vacation. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Those ain't the only vaginas available. The ones at the workplace. That, trust me. The moment you walk outside your office down the block and you make a right, there's going to be a bunch of vagina of penises walking around the New York City streets, ready, willing, able, available, all of that. You do not have to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be pretty much stalked by your partner, your significant other. You are with them, on your off time. You're traveling with them to the workplace. You are with them at the workplace. And then you try to be inconspicuous. You're trying to be like, let me not show this. Let's try. And then, when you're messing with somebody is bound to be able to tell. The body English, the way the body reacts when you're next to each other, or just, gestures that you might not even realize you are giving. Because you're so comfortable around each other that you kind of not notice what other people are seeing. So there's always, when people are messing with each other in an office setting or in a job setting, somebody's bound to be able to at least have a little inkling, I have a suspicion. Did you see how he looked at her? Or do you see how they always come in 5 minutes apart from each other, 10 minutes apart from each other? Or they just straight up run into you at some bar or some lounge or some outing off hours. Then how do you explain that? How is that going to be explained? Incredible Hulk says, today people have zero social skills and all they know is the internet. They don't have real friends that they can talk to, and that's sad. And you know what? There's also this big thing. Maybe we'll do a little bubble on it in the one of our upcoming videos. People are now getting virtual friends. Let me clarify that. Not virtual friends in the sense of like, I'm on YouTube and I have all these virtual viewers that I can talk to. No, AI friends. I read an article about this whole movement of people who have AI boyfriends and girlfriends. AI boyfriends and girlfriends. And how they are coming out to their friends and families. I saw this thing where you can, AI sits with you at the restaurant while you're having your dinner on your phone. And there's a whole movement of people doing this. I mean, I don't know. I just, it doesn't speak to me. Growing up in New York City, when I was in school and the whole nine, I enjoy taking myself out for a nasty piece of meal, just me. And I will spread out my scripts. I will get an appetizer, an entree, and a full dessert. I don't care. It was table for one. I will sit right there and enjoy it. And that was my treat to myself once a week. It was like Wednesdays or Thursdays. I would treat myself. And I had my favorite restaurants. They already knew me there, and I didn't have any problems. And I was probably the only person in the entire restaurant sitting there by myself with my scripts. Sometimes I will be listening to my earphones, enjoying my 3-course meal and a drink and a nice cocktail. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, say goodbye to the waiter, to the bartender, grab my stuff, threw my scarf around my neck, put my hat, and began walking to my bachelor pad. Okay? Now, some people might find that lonely, sad, depressing. Oh, I could never. I grew up with people who said they could never go out by themselves. And I found it to be more empowering. I found it to be speaking to me as far as I'm taking care of my own business. And not only am I taking care of my own business, I can afford to just run this American Express. That's the one that's due at the end of the month fully, and pay for this meal because I can do that. I think people need to learn how to be with themselves and by themselves before they jump into relationships and all that. They need to learn how to be with themselves and by themselves before they try to bring people along into whatever unresolved issues they may have. Incredible Hulk says the decline of humans, shaking my head. The Incredible Hulk also says it's the desperation. People are afraid to date their self and let love happen naturally. Absolutely. So, in conclusion, sir, Mr. Man, don't F around where you work. Even if you don't care for the job, they still gonna give a recommendation. You don't know what kind of girl this is, really. You know, she can turn around and put all sorts of claims on you, and it's gonna give you a one-way ticket to HR. You know, and if you're a supervisor of her or somebody or a manager, you know, it could be seen as you taking advantage of. I mean, it's a whole avenue of ugly that this could go down. It's not worth it. Go ahead and find some other vagina outside of the workplace. With that said, I want to thank everybody who came through, and the people who are going to catch the replay. Please make sure you hit that like button. It really helps us out as content creators. I am Juanqui Pro, and welcome to my world. I am a cornucopia of stuff. You just never know what kind of video you're going to get, but you know you're going to get a video out of me every single night. I've been going live consistently since December 1st, 2025. Not missing a beat, not missing a day. All right, so I will see you guys tomorrow again. Thank you for the support, and I hope you have a productive and beautiful week. See you guys tomorrow night. Peace.